So I want to talk to you today about what I consider to be the ultimate wholesaling lifestyle business. A business where you can do 2 to 3 deals a month. You can make $30,000 to $40,000 a month, with a large amount of that being profit. So the majority of it is profit. A business that allows you to be anywhere, will operate with just a laptop and a phone and minimal overhead, and would allow you to even hang out at places like this. Like right now, I'm in Hollywood Beach, Florida, hanging out here for the 4th of July weekend. Look at that. Look at that amazing Florida sunshine. So you could operate a real estate business right here from the beach. Now I'm talking specifically about a wholesaling business, not a business where you fix and flip properties, but one where you're just going out and finding motivated sellers that are looking to sell their property at a discount. You're contracting those properties, you're not owning those properties, and then you're taking that contract that you have with the property owner and selling it to another investor and making a significant amount of money. Our average deal size right now is about $15,000. And so it doesn't take that many deals on a per month basis to completely change your life, to completely take your income and put you in a position where you can actually quit your job. You can have your spouse quit their job. You can do so many things if you put yourself in that position of making $30,000 to $40,000 a month. So the first step is identifying the right model for this type of business. And the model is twofold. Number one, it has to be a completely virtual model. By that I mean that there's no physical location. You're able to operate 100% from your laptop and a mobile device. Doesn't matter, from your home, could be from the beach, could be from a temporary office. It doesn't really matter. Now, in addition to the virtual model, then you want to expand geographically where you're doing deals in. So you don't want to be stuck in any one particular market. You want to be able to do deals all across the country, because that's going to give you the most opportunities. And especially when I get to the last part of this video, you're going to see why the nationwide model is critical to be able to have a particular type of real estate business that is not only low stress, but also high profit as well. By the way, if you are interested in this type of business, you should check out the link in the description and reach out to me, because we can set everything up for you. The ads, the campaigns, the entire structure, get you up and running, help you close your first 3 to 5 deals, and then put you in a position where now you could be on your own doing deals. So make sure you click on the link in the description to get more details. The problem with the wholesaling industry right now, and also a lot of businesses, is that people get caught up in what they see on Instagram, on the desire to go out and to scale your business and to do huge numbers, right, in terms of gross income. But they don't realize that there is a certain amount of complexity and a certain amount of loss of profit margin that occurs when you run that type of model. And I'm talking about the model where you have an office full of humans that you have to account for, that you're pushing every single month because you need to do more revenue, because you get a lot of overhead. And so then now, instead of operating at 80% margins, 90% margins, you're operating at 30 to 35%. And then the hard part is, once you finally get there and you figure out that, oh man, this isn't what I really wanted, guess what? Now you've got a bit of a challenge in unraveling that entire situation. And I don't want that to happen to you. So what I want you to do is I want you to focus on creating the simplest, most high profit business that you can. Settle on that business for a little bit, enjoy it, and then decide what you want to do from there. And I guarantee you that you may not want to go that route of scaling your business to the moon, and instead have a very small yet profitable business that then you can use that money in order to fuel other things that would be also income producing with a lot less hassle as well. The second requirement for this type of business is you need lead flow, because you can't do any deals if you don't have enough leads. Now, the other factor around lead flow is you want a lead flow that is not only scalable, but also scalable without complexity. So a lead source that is scalable with a tremendous amount of complexity is cold calling, for example, because cold calling requires lots of humans. If you decided today that you wanted to double your business, what you would have to do is you would have to go out and you would have to hire a bunch of cold callers. And that entails you going out and acquiring a list of property owners that are looking to, that potentially might be looking to sell. You then need to take and acquire all the phone numbers, which is called skip tracing, for those individuals. Then you would have to then either you would have to hire somebody, because you don't want to be on the phone pounding away. That defeats the whole purpose of having a low stress business. So you'd have to be pounding the phones away. excuse me, you don't want to be pounding the phones away. So you'd have to find a company that is going to do that for you. So you're paying a human to make these calls. You have to also monitor that human to make sure that they're appropriately calling these people, that they do a good job. They're not, throwing away your money because they sound horrible over the phone. And then if you wanted to scale that business, then you'd have to hire more humans to get more data. So you can see that the complexity of that business dramatically increases. And instead, in order to have this sort of business, the one that I recommend is you want online lead generation, because online lead generation is one that once you set it up, it scales infinitely, and it requires a lot less maintenance than cold calling. For example, once you set up your campaigns, the campaigns will run in the background. So while I'm here at the beach, I have campaigns on Facebook and on TikTok and on Google that are running right now and are producing me leads, viable leads from motivated sellers, people that are interested in selling their property at a discount, and they're running in the scenes. Now, if tomorrow I decided that I wanted to double my business, all it takes is for me to log into the platform, to change the budget, and say if I'm spending $50 a day, I decide, you know what, I'm going to spend $100 a day, or I'm going to spend an extra $25 a day because I want more leads. That's all the requirement. All of a sudden now you have increased your business, but you did so with a very small tweak that didn't require any sort of humans or any sort of complexity. So that's why I believe that if you're going to do this model, the model that I'm proposing, then you need a large number of leads, but you also need a mechanism to provide you those leads that is very low friction and low stress. And that is why I believe that you should be doing online marketing in order to find these motivated sellers. The next thing that you need for this sort of business is you need tools, but you need to make sure that these tools are easy to use, accessible, and without any sort of large overhead costs associated with it. And the tools that we use for our business is, number one, is you need a CRM, a sales management system, to keep track of your leads. I have a video here on my channel that talks about one of the easiest way to implement that, which is using a system called Trello, which is inexpensive, and you want to make sure that you don't spend too much time on the tech side of things, because you could go down the rabbit hole of a bunch of tech in the real estate business, and then in the end it doesn't serve you in any way, and you're not going to make money from that. So you want something simple. In addition to that, the only thing you need is just really your cell phone. Now, if you're doing this from overseas, we have many clients that I help that are doing it from outside this country, then you would need a virtual phone system, because now you're making calls outside the US into the US, but those are easy to acquire. Then you also, for comps, for property analysis, we use Zillow. 99% of the time we use Zillow, and guess what? Zillow is free. So that means that anybody can use Zillow, and anybody can get this business started, and it's very relatively easy to use. And for buyers, we have a variety of different things that we use. The two platforms that we use are, and I'll put the links in the description here. You can go to a link that is listed on the description. The first one is called Investor Lift. There's a code there that allows you to get 10% off if you use my code, and of course I make an affiliate commission from that. And then there's another one called Investor Base. Less expensive, less bells and whistles, but nevertheless, those are databases where if you found a deal today that genuinely was a good deal, a motivated seller, then you can easily, within a matter of a few hours, find a buyer, get them to look at the property, and then assign that contract over to them. And now you're successfully doing deals relatively easy. Once you start operating this particular model, it's important that you understand all the pieces of the model, which means that you are going to be the one that's going to be doing everything required for this model. And I'm squinting because the sun is so hot. And so you want to be able to get at least 5 deals under your belt, because by the time you do 5 deals, then you have gone through enough transactions and enough mishaps, with deals either coming through or falling through for a variety of different reasons, that then now you understand what's required in order to successfully do deals. And at which point then now you can add that next layer, which is adding a human. But I'm not talking about hiring a staff of people. I'm talking about hiring an overseas virtual assistant that initially is going to help you with a lot of the grunt work associated with running the business. And I say grunt work, but there isn't that much. For example, you have a property that you have under contract, and now you have to do certain things in order to sell that property. It could be that you have to get photos of the property, you have to do some coordination with certain vendors. And so what you can do is you can use a virtual assistant, say from the Philippines, that will do all of this for you, and you'll be able to pay them you know, $1,000, $1,200 a month, much less than what you would an American staff member. And that's how you then enable that business to even run even smoother. Now, to the next level would be that you would hire a lead manager, someone that's going to sift and sort through your leads and find those amazing leads that then you're going to go ahead and get involved with and do those deals. And so what you're doing is you're hiring this type of help, not to replace yourself, but to really free you up. I always look at it, I look at it like as if you were Beyonce and you were going to be on stage at a concert. She doesn't handle anything except just showing up, doing her thing, and getting out. And that's what you should be. You're going in, you have a motivated seller that's reached out to you, amazing deal. You go in, you close the deal, you hand it off to your team, and then they do the rest. And that's what you want. And again, by doing the overseas thing, now you're able to dramatically decrease your labor costs, which means that then now you have a lot more profit. And again, we're talking about a business. We want a business that is not only producing great amount of revenue, but we also want a business that is extremely high margins, 80% or more high margins. Finally, when you put all these things together, you're gonna have what I call a low-hanging fruit wholesaling real estate business. A low-hanging fruit real estate business is one in which you produce an overabundance of leads and opportunities, such that then you no longer have to be selling hard on the phone. You don't have to be on the phone with a seller for hours upon hours trying to convince him about selling you their property. You want a business in which you have so many leads coming in and so many opportunities that then now you pick and choose which are the opportunities that you want. If somebody's an ass when you talk to them on the phone, you know what the best word to say to them is next, can't help you, move on to the next person. And in the end, what you want is you want lay down deals. And somebody might say, well, gee, Chico, why would you want lay down deals? Is that, you know, I want to be a ninja salesperson. I want to be like, you know, I want to be like the Wolf of Wall Street. Well, if you want it to be that way, that's great. But what if you just had lay down deals? What's wrong with that? People think that there's something wrong with that. No, you want low stress. So low stress means pleasant people, pleasant conversations, people that are reasonable about their asking price. And what it comes down to is a numbers game. You know, if you've got, you know, if all you have is 2 leads a week, hypothetically, then you have a lot of pressure in order to make those leads turn into deals. But what if you had 25 leads a week? And then all you had to do was make one of those leads a deal. And then the next week, and then you threw away all those other leads. And then the following week, now you're gonna have another 25 leads to then pick and choose a prospect from there. And every so often you might get lucky and you might get a couple prospects from the same batch of leads. And so at the end of the day, that's what you want. And that's what creates a business that is enjoyable, because it's not, you know, you're not getting on the phone, and you're getting on the phone with the right people. And that's where, as I mentioned before, getting the lead manager, virtual assistant, because that initial lead manager could be that initial sifter and sorter of your leads. They could do that initial analysis for you to determine, hey, out of these 25 leads, here are the ones that seem to be the best. And then they can might be able to call a few of the other ones that they think, I'm not really sure if they're there or not. And they get initial information in order for you to make a decision and determine, hey, is that a great opportunity for me or not? And that's really the best way to operate this business.